once again to Oberon's Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges. It's my weekly reading for all the signs of the Zodiac that tells you what kind of emotional energies are exchanging around you one way or the other. So I've changed the format yet again. I'm just basically going to throw out 3 cards and say what I see there. No, this means this for your tone or energy. This means someone will say I love you or something like that. That didn't seem to be interesting to a lot of people, and you kind of let me know. So I'm going to change the format and we'll see what we get there. So first we start off with a reading for the collective, and I just draw at random a card for that. And I have physical body. So this is from Tony Carmine Salerno's Universal Love Oracle, and we use Tony's work in a lot of other places here at TFT. Amazing oracles that Tony has done or collaborates with others. Physical body. It's time to love yourself fully, and that includes your physical body. Your body is your vehicle on the earth plane. Pay attention to what it is saying. Be loving and gentle towards it. Nurture and respect it. And above all, watch your thoughts. The next time you have a negative or critical thought about yourself, stop and change that thought to love. Praise and respect your body and watch the transformation. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let it flow into every part of you. Relax your body, heart, and mind, and imagine each breath as a soothing, glowing light, healing every part of you. Remember, above all else, it is our negative thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that cause the most harm. Allow only positive thoughts to flourish. As your beliefs and attitudes change, so too will your body. So I hope that's meaningful for everybody, but it is true that thoughts become things. And so if you always have a bad attitude about your life or about something in life, you're kind of already, you're borrowing bad fortune, you're borrowing trouble. And I know people in life would do that, and they just seem to always be ready for something bad to happen because they just sort of have already imagined it will be. But enough about that. Let's just get on with the reading. And as I mentioned, these readings are for the 12 signs of the Zodiac. And I'm just throwing 3 cards out there. We're just going to see what we get. So our first one is for Aries. And of course, the readings can still be considered for sun, moon, or rising signs. All right, Aries, sun, moon, or rising. Temperance reversed. The Chariot upright. And the Queen of Cups upright. So let's put that there, okay. I think this is a good, maybe it starts off a little bit indifferent, but it ends up good. Temperance reverse maybe is indicating that Aries are struggling with some balance issues in their emotions. They sort of feel like they're sort of pinging back and forth emotionally. Maybe there's something bothering them, but then at times, they can resolve it. But there's a pinging back and forth. And maybe it's about being able to really directly take action on something that maybe is emotionally bothering you right now. And it could just be a lot of things. I mean, it could just be, even about health things. It doesn't have to be about relationships, but maybe something about, your inner peace or your health is bothering you, and you have to be more proactive about it. You feel unbalanced. And if you can take care of that, you'll be better emotionally, like just asserting yourself probably right now in whatever this emotional immoderation, imbalance feeling is really the cure you need to resolve and kind of settle what you feel emotionally. All right, we're going to move on to Taurus then, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I do hope that you'll give me some feedback, so leave a comment here on the video. If you want to write more, write us at tfttarotfortoday@gmail.com. TFT Tarot for Today, that's one word, at gmail.com. All right, Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And 10 of Wands reversed. Page of Swords upright. 3 of Wands upright. So, emotionally speaking, you feel like maybe you've let go of some things that maybe were burdens. Maybe there was a friendship that wasn't really a great friendship, but maybe you felt you were taken advantage of, that it just put a lot of stuff on you that was bothersome or oppressive. And so you're releasing that, or you're going to be trying to release that this week. And you may be venturing forth, into something new. The Page of Swords maybe indicates that you're going to strike out at something new, and it could be about maybe advancing yourself personally in some other situations. It's not a big thing. It's not like you're trying to conquer the world or anything like that, but you may be testing on, your moves a little bit out there. And so this could signify that maybe some of us Tauruses are single and will be feeling like engaging with others. Or even in a relationship, you may still feel like broadening the horizons and finding new friends or new situations to be involved in. And then there's the 3 of Wands, and so this could be saying really too that all of this presents an idea that there are some possible things you can do here, in relationships, that maybe you're going to be joining clubs or situations where you'll get to have more interaction with people, book clubs, things like that. So it looks good, Taurus. It feels like it's mostly just good exchanges with people that are personable, not necessarily heavy-duty relationships, but, things you like to enjoy in your life. And that sounds like a Taurus. Tauruses are about, finding comfort in their lives. So this week should be good for you, Taurus. All right, we're going to move on to Gemini now. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Whoops, don't drop. And he dropped. Don't mind the bones. Those bones are sore and hard to move. Try not to drop cards, Obi. All right. Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And it's the Wheel of Fortune reversed. It's the Fool upright. It's the 5 of Cups upright. All right. In emotional matters, it seems like there's a tumbling around. There sort of feels like things are not moving in the best direction for you. You may feel like, something is sort of eluding you, or you're not finding your footing in a way. And maybe this represents the idea of, some emotional imbalances where maybe either either of you aren't perceiving each other the way you want to be, or somebody has actually said some things that maybe they shouldn't have, and they're being interpreted correctly or a little bit incorrectly. Now, the Fool here says that maybe you have to be willing to go with your instinct here, that if there's something that needs to be corrected or figured out, then you kind of have to figure, you kind of have to be a proponent of movement in that way. And it looks like, you know, if your intentions are true, then, you know, you can probably repair damages or venture forth into new territory. The Five of Cups does suggest that maybe all of this is about sort of letting go of something, or realizing that something is letting go of you. Yeah, it's more likely that maybe someone else is changing the parameters of a relationship and you're not figuring into that anymore. And so what you have to consider is what you still may have that relates to that. There may be people or associations through that you will still be able to be a part of. You have to realize that this doesn't change everything, but it changes a lot. But don't forget, it didn't change everything, Gemini. All right, so that's what I have for you guys. We will move on to Cancer. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Cancer. Alright, Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. It's the World, which is upright. And it's the Four of Pentacles, which is reversed. And it's another four, the Four of Wands, which is reversed. Alright, so the World says that maybe there's a sense of a completion of something you were doing, and it's probably emotional. So it could be that you were helping somebody arrange a party, a celebration, or you were helping, or you were involved in bringing something to a conclusion. Maybe it was a courtship that ended in a marriage, or maybe it was a situation that just ended with the sense of perfection in a way. So, you know, maybe any number of scenarios could play out where emotions are involved here. You know, are you a matchmaker? Are you the person who is committing to somebody else? It's all contained in the idea of that card. It's really good, but it also signifies too that maybe you want to move on now and move to some new story, something new that is possible and that you are geared to do. So what is that? Well, the Four of Pentacles reverse says it's time to let some things go. And so I don't think it's necessarily connected to that, like we're not letting that happy relationship or situation go, but maybe there's something else around this that says it's time to let something go. And so this could be saying moving physically, or to a new job, or opening up your social circle in a different kind of way, like just getting involved in a different sense of worship or study, or going to a new library and joining a book club there. I don't know. There could be just new things you're doing because you're letting go of some old associations. And mostly that sounds like a physical move, or a very advanced move in your mind where you really make that physical break with older associations. And of course it's emotional, so it's what's pleasing you. I'm still not sure exactly. It could be a lot of things for a lot of people. But the Four of Wands reverse could be a clue. This could be saying that for some people, this is a time where they want to focus on their personal lives and their personal comfort and the things that are kind of that nexus there. So that's that home life. This does suggest that maybe there's a compromise a little bit. Like maybe this isn't, you know, totally full family life, but maybe this is a sense of the family life that is a little more personal, or a little less over-involved in a lot of other things. It's more quieter. I mean, it could be folks getting older and just saying, you know, I need more time for myself in a way. All right, Cancer. So let's move on to Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I'm going to take a little sip of my coffee over here. And I'm using the Modern Love Tarot. I did mention that earlier. It's by Ethony, with art by Linda Morningstar. And I love this tarot. It's a great tarot for me. I rarely use it on any of our regular live streams. And as a love tarot, it wouldn't be appropriate to use it for the other recorded shows like Banshees, Material Matters, or Goth Tarot. Just wouldn't work there. So I'm glad it's here. And once again, that's for Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And Leo has King of Swords upright. The Sun is upright. Oh, that's very Leo. And the reversed Four of Swords. So we had fours last time that were reversed, and we have another one, a different one. Okay, so King of Swords. Emotionally speaking, Leos feel like they really are in charge of a situation, and that this may be about an important decision about a relationship or something that's in that world of the relationship. Maybe you're deciding to yourself that, you know, this is the time to make a relationship formal or to move it to another level. Or it could be something like that. The Sun almost always talks about happy relationships, possibilities of children and family. So maybe Leos are thinking, you know, some of them, that this is a special time for them to think about that relationship and what it means and all that it can possibly bring. I'm not saying every Leo in the world is getting married, but maybe they're thinking about a sense of permanency and family in relationships of some sort. And then our final card is the reversed Four of Swords. And of course, now it may be saying, and of course I don't think this is all Aries, but maybe this is saying some Aries feel they're ready to do this. You know, there's a sense of maybe feeling like you're moving from relationships that didn't work out, or that were, you know, painful in a way, or that are just now over, and now we are ready to jump back into that, and that we have these ideas about where we want to go in relationship. And so Leos, I would just say personally, don't be real impulsive here. You know, do all the things you normally would with trying to find a good and sustainable relationship. All right, Leo, so we'll move on to Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's the upright Queen of Pentacles. It's the reverse Sun. It's the reverse King of Swords. So I need to shuffle a little better, but they're there for a reason. They are. Okay, Virgo, Queen of Pentacles. Emotionally speaking, you really are more in love with what you're able to do for a bigger amount of people, including yourself, taking care of them in a very emotionally vibrant way. It's not necessarily about having very intrapersonal relationships with somebody. There may be that, but this is about a wider array. So this is somebody that maybe has prominence in a community or in a family in a certain way, and has tasked themselves with the sense of making things work better for everyone, including themselves. So you're about all relationships and situations, I think, Virgo. And Queen of Pentacles is really good for you there. Now the Sun reverse says, much is attainable. It may not be the epitome of the highest joy you could feel, but maybe you don't need that, Virgo. Maybe you would be really good with pretty darn, good relationships and luck and the ability to understand and see things and relate to things about relationships, of course, too. So then finally, the King of Swords is suggesting that in all of this, you may have to make a decision that others won't necessarily appreciate, but it is your decision to make. And I truly don't sense, Virgo, that you could really do much harm to anyone else in this decision. It's just more of a personal thing that maybe others have their opinion about. And that's you, Virgo, because, usually, Virgo, you're a lightning rod for how people look at things being done and whether or not it was enough or not enough. You're sort of draw those Goldilocks kind of comparisons. So let's move on to Libra then, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And we have the reversed Queen of Wands. We have the Nine of Cups upright. And the reversed Emperor. And so I feel like this has a little bit of, you can't always get what you want. The reversed Queen of Wands says, Libras, don't overstep or overrun your sense of being self-confident or charismatic, that maybe you might try to play that for a particular emotional or relationship situation, and you may have middling success with that. Maybe somebody will even say, stop trying so hard, let it happen more naturally. You don't have to, try to squeeze everything into your parameters, Libra. But the Nine of Cups says you really could find yourself having desires or wishes fulfilled in a way, especially of the emotional nature. That's something you really feel you could appreciate in a fulfilling emotional sense could come to happen for you, Libra. So that's good. And then the final card, though, is the Emperor reversed. And maybe this is saying you have to have a sense of vulnerability about it. You can't let yourself feel like you are totally in charge and can decide exactly. I mean, that's love or emotional care. Sometimes you have to open up and let it happen and let it be as messy as it's going to be. Good luck, Libra. And now, as Banshee would like to say, it's time for Scorpio. Sun, Moon, or Rising. And of course she does that because I'm Scorpio. I haven't figured out how to do that with Aries. We'll see. I think she draws enough attention to herself as an Aries, so who knows, right? All right, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, what you got? And it's the reverse Nine of Swords. It's the upright Three of Wands. That's back again. And it's the reversed Ace of Swords. Ouch. So, emotionally speaking, you may feel like you're kind of setting something straight with maybe people who are leaning on you a little bit. You may feel like, you know, you don't really have the ability or the time to necessarily help them with some problems. Or maybe you feel you have helped them enough and they are getting better. I mean, it's what it looks like to me is like there's not as much of that emotional pinging on you, and you feel more relieved in a way emotionally. Maybe it's just, Scorpio, something that's been bothering you emotionally that you worry about, you know, someone you care about. Less so this week. Now, the Three of Wands could say that you think there's an opportunity and you don't want to miss it, so you're hoping that really will happen, and you want to be in position for it. But the Ace of Swords says there's a hollow victory here for you, that maybe something ends up being accomplished, but it doesn't really do exactly what you wanted or hoped for. And so since this is about emotions, it could be about a relationship that Scorpios are trying to figure out or to get more involved in. And it may not work conclusively, but somewhat it does. That's what I got for Scorpio. And I'm going to move on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. It's the Six of Swords reversed. Five of Cups is upright. Five of Wands is upright. So the Six of Swords reversed. Sagittarius, you're having trouble moving away from something emotionally bothering you, or you've decided that you need to not leave the situation and to maybe try to help it. Maybe not. I mean, it seems like it's something that's troublesome, but you don't seem to have the ability or wish to totally move away from it. So it could be that maybe you can't for some reason. Sagittarius, the Five of Cups says you feel like something's gone and you don't realize what it is that's still there, and it's very emotionally involved with you. And I can't help but wonder if it's what this is about too, the idea that you won't leave or you can't leave, but something has left you, and you have an inability to see what still life can be offering you in terms of emotional content or something. Is it about something that's not resolved yet, a sense of interplay between people that determines who's in charge in a way? This may be something worth working on, but then again, you're not totally aware of what it is you could be in charge of. You may not recognize it, or you may feel it's already gone. Sagittarians. I'm going to move on to Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. The Queen of Swords is upright. The Star is reversed. Temperance is upright. Capricorns find that they must make a decision about a relationship. There's a sense of sternness here, the feeling that you want to be serious about the relationship, no matter your actual feelings that may be enjoyable, pleasant about it. There's something serious going on for you, and what may be decided could change the future or the destiny or the perceived direction or path one is going in. So when I put those together, this may be saying Capricorns may feel that there are some relationships that maybe they're leaving or they're altering suitably. It's about balance and moderation. You may be seeking this where you don't have it. And it may be very, very strong feeling that you need to find a peace and a balance that you don't have right now. But remember that the Queen of Swords, even if she does seem to be a little bit mirthless and joyless, will be your strength here in moving you towards that, Capricorn. And we're going to move on to Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. The Hierophant is upright. Ten of Swords is reversed. Ace of Swords is reversed, like we had before. The Hierophant. Aquarians, you're looking for structure in your life, which is a little unusual because a lot of Aquarians are great with less structure. But from an emotional point of view, you probably need to have something that seems conventional happen for you in a relationship, or you have moved into a direction where you're looking at things from a more traditional point of view. It's not necessarily a big change for you. You may have always felt this way, but maybe this is signifying that a relationship you're in or interested in, or in general your sense of relationships, needs the harmony that more traditional things imply, rather than, things that are kind of out of left field. I'll just say that. And the Ten of Swords is reversed. So you may feel that where things were really dramatically against you in a relationship, that maybe that's resolved, and that could be because you've decided to end that relationship or make suitable changes in that relationship. And so I'm drawn towards the idea of maybe expecting or trying to inform with a particular kind of sense of convention, tradition and order in a relationship. And for some Aquarians, this may represent too also unusual kinds of relationships. So this could involve polyamorous relationships or unconventional relationships of certain sorts. Not saying what those are, I think. Now, with the Ace of Swords reversed, this is also saying too that the way things end up feel like you didn't get exactly what you wanted. It was a hollow victory. Something happened that was okay, but it wasn't exactly what you wanted. And maybe it's just realigning things for future possibilities. I'll leave it with that for the Aquarians. And we're going to move on to Pisces now. Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. It's the Two of Pentacles, upright. The Three of Pentacles is reversed. And the Nine of Cups is upright. So Pisces, kind of interesting. We begin this week with a sense of really having things balanced for you in a certain way, and that maybe you feel you're ready to really move towards some other direction or accomplishments at this time. And because it's emotional, then this could be saying that there are new friendships or situations that you really want to get involved in. If you are in a new relationship, you may be taking it to another level or trying to. Now, the Three of Pentacles is reversed, and so this could be indicating that from an emotional point of view, you're sort of going off script with some things, and maybe you're being a little maverick. Maybe if there is a situation going on for some people where, I won't say that there's a fight for control, but it may just be that sometimes you have that kind of way with each other where each of you feel you're better suited to plot the course. And you may find you have disagreements here, that you might try to reset things in some form. Finally, moving to the Nine of Cups, everything ends up really in a better spot anyway, that maybe it's about really appreciating what desires or wishes have manifested, or feeling that they are going to be in this week ahead. So I think that's pretty good for the Pisceans. I want to thank everybody for coming to my show today, and I hope if you liked it, you give it a like. Don't forget to watch our other shows this weekend. We're going to be doing the Happy Hour tomorrow at 10 a.m., our normal live stream, giving one card with a divine or uplifting positive message to everybody in the chat room. So that's at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget Banshees Material Matters. That one is at 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings. It's a record show, kind of like this one. It's for the 12 signs of the Zodiac. She packs in some good economic, business, financial information, as well as the astrology for the week and maybe how it affects all of that. And then we are live in the chat room, so most of our regular Tarot Tribe shows up for that. We have a great time sipping our coffee or brew and chatting about the reading and anything else. So please join us, be a part of our Tarot Tribe, and we will see you next week for the emotional exchanges. I hope you enjoy this. Take care for now. Bye-bye.